Okay, guys, no sprint race this weekend, so it's just your regular run-of-the-mill Formula One weekend. So you're not going to have the chance to start from the back unless you stop up in qualifying. But let's not do that. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari, and it's a Mexican Grand Prix today. We've got this one, we've got Vegas, Brazil and Abu Dhabi to come. We're not catching Aston Martin, are we? I think we have to acknowledge that. As you guys were saying in the comments at the end of last episode, them and Mercedes have clearly bought upgrades, and now we just got to try and make sure we do as much as we can, get as many points as we can to try and stay in the job again for next season. So there's not a great deal to catch you up on. It's only been 4 days in game since the last race, so we'll get straight into things here and have a look at what we're doing. Now, it looks like there might be some rain for qualifying, so we love to stuff up a qualifying session when it's wet, don't we? Let's hope we don't do that. The race is going to be dry though, so for qualifying purposes, red is sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow is sector 3. We can see there's a lot of slow speed corners at this track, a lot of traction zones and sort of that twisty fast section through the middle of the lap. So we can see top speed, low speed and high speed cornering is what is needed. Time considerations we can see there, and expected strategies. It's more or less a one stop. Now if there's one thing that we've learnt, it is that pushing the tyres and going for the extra stop seems, in this version of the game, as it stands right now, to be the better way to go. So I'm almost thinking either hard, soft, soft, or soft, hard, soft is probably the way to go. We can see the compound performance there. The degradation rate is not that huge on the soft tyre, but it is almost a second to lap faster than the hard. So if you could even do I wonder if you could do like a soft, medium, soft. We'll see anyway. We'll have to have a think about that. Historically, Red Bull wins like they tend to everywhere. Let's have a look at what we're expecting to do here. So reach Q2. You know what? This is what I guess this is sponsored targets, isn't it? Not necessarily board targets. But if they want to reach Q2, then why is the board going to potentially sack us for scoring decent points? Finished 4th is where they want, and we've got to finish 1 car in the top 6. I'd like to hope we could do that, and then 1 car in the top 6 for the next 2 qualifying sessions as well. So we'll get straight into things today. Let's head off to Mexico. And there we go, light rain for qualifying. So, well, Saturday doesn't necessarily mean qualifying, but it usually does, doesn't it? So I'll do some free practice. Hopefully we're going to nail these setups, and I'll see you for qualifying. Alright, so free practice is done. We did get a bit of rain in FP3, so maybe qualifying will be dry. Now, Sergio Perez has been rapid, but as you can see there, is taking a penalty. We were 9th with Mick, and we were 18th with Gio in FP1. FP2, again, you can see Perez absolutely flying. Mick 9th, Giovinazzi 17th. And then FP3, again, look at Perez. The crowd would be absolutely up for this, wouldn't they? 12th and 18th. Now, obviously, old engine parts, as ever, don't get too worried about that. We nailed Mick's setup. Couldn't quite get there with Giovinazzi, but not too bad, I would say. We do have enough money in the under the wage, what's it called, the cost cap to get another engine for Giovinazzi. I'm thinking it might need to happen. There's 1 sprint race to go, isn't there? And that might take a little bit too much out of the engine, so we'll wait and see on that front. But generally speaking, everything should be good for Q1, so I'll go and confirm that as long as there's no rain. Alright, now rain is expected. Now, not a great deal of rain, but rain nonetheless. So let's hope that we do good lap times here. So 1:15.6 looks like pretty competitive. Actually, it looks fairly competitive, doesn't it? Only 0.3 off Verstappen. So that should be good. Mick is there in 9th. And here's the rain. So that should be quite comfortably us into Q2. So the track did dry out for another run at the end, but we rolled the dice, stayed in, so that saved us a set of tyres now. And yeah, we ended up 7th and 11th. Both Alpines are out. And I'm going to have my rant about AlphaTauri during the race, or what they've been renamed as. But let's go to Q2. Okay, again, we are expecting rain, so we've gone out straight away. Now, we're on used tyres, which may prove to be a mistake. But the degradation wasn't huge, and I'm really hoping that we'll get away with it. So Giovinazzi goes fastest, as you would imagine, being first across the line. He stays ahead of Mick, but let's now have a look and see where we are. So we're already ahead of 2 cars. We might be in a smidge of trouble.
What a good lap.
Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Mick's in a bit of trouble here. So Mick is dropped out. That is not ideal for the sake of saving a set of tyres. Well, let's hope that the rain is cooperative here. So Mick is out. Now, yeah, this is the thing, is that his tyres were the same age as Giovinazzi's. Look how much he missed out by. Like, there's absolutely nothing between himself, Hamilton, and Stroll and Piastri. He just didn't do the lap, and Giovinazzi did, and he should have saved another set of tyres. But anyway, we'll go to Q3. It's just Giovinazzi. Let's see what he can do. Alright, now there is a chance, above 50% chance of rain coming in 3 minutes, so we've gone straight out on new tyres. We have obviously enough tyres to do 2 new set runs in this session anyway, which is where Mick should have been as well. We would have been able to do 2 new set tyre runs in qualifying and have 2 new sets for the race, and we've seen already that we want to do, the chances are we want to do 2 soft tyre stints. So yeah, in hindsight, obviously, it wasn't worth the risk with Mick, but it should have been doable for him, and he's not quite managed to deliver for us. So that's a bit of a shame, obviously. But let's see what Giovinazzi can stick himself here on the first run. He's gone fastest, as you would expect, being first car across the line. Perez is half a second faster. He's ahead of Norris, ahead of Alonso, which is good, ahead of Hamilton. So you imagine Verstappen is going to go ahead of us. Perez has a penalty. I can never find this one on leave there. So Stroll and Russell and Verstappen. So fifth. Fifth as it stands with a Perez penalty. And the rain has started, so that's probably going to be that. And indeed, that was it. So Giovinazzi will start fifth. Actually, no, he'll probably start fourth because of the Perez penalty. Alonso, if Mick can go with Alonso, then he limits the damage here, doesn't he? But Williams and 2 McLarens up there as well. It's a very, very strange sort of back half of the top 10. All right, so 4th and 10th is where we're starting. So Perez has gone right back. So Mick's just about got away with that, hasn't he? Now, I'm wondering... now, the hard tyre, we know it's not great. If we were to do a medium does get you there. I wonder if you could push a little bit harder on a hard. Yeah, I mean, that's a faster overall race time. So let's be racy. Why wouldn't you do that? I don't really understand. I mean, the one stop will get you there, but I think we've seen enough already this season that you want to do the extra stop. And I think what we might do with Mick is we will do the same thing, but I think we're going to go to a medium, start on a medium, and then do soft. And really sort of come home, in theory, with a wet sail. So I think I like that as a strategy for him. Because a medium tyre is not going to be a bad one to start on. One stoppers are going to be doing the same thing. And then we'll obviously be pushing harder on a soft tyre rather than trying to eke a hard tyre out to the end. So that's what we'll do. We'll underfuel the cars as ever. And let's hope we can get another recovery race from Mick and a good result for Gio. Alright, here we go. Aston Martin and Mercedes on the front row. So Verstappen mustn't have qualified up the front either then. I've misunderstood where he has started. So we do have a hard tyre there for Verstappen, is that? Yes, Verstappen, Hamilton. So there's a few hard tyres to start the race. But you don't need to be on the hard. I mean, obviously time will tell. The AI tends to be more intelligent than I am. But it'll be very interesting to see how that develops as things go. Now, we should have the inside here. We're deploying as well on a soft tyre. Surely the traction dowels. And that is that. Now, we just want to be a little bit careful, particularly on the soft, that we don't cook tyres early on here. It looks as though Mick has lost out to Perez already, has he? Not quite. Now, what we don't need to do here is get stuck behind these hard tyre runners with Mick. Because they are going to be in his race as well. Look at the launch Perez got there. That is insane. So yeah, we don't want to get held up behind hard tyre runners if we can at all help it. We will drop back there to no, not just standard on the tyre use. if we can stay in DRS range. There's 3 DRS zones on this track, which makes it very difficult to break free of it. So yeah, it would be very useful if we could stay in DRS. It looks as though we are going to with both cars, which is, as I said, useful. Mick in 11. Perez is absolutely flying. Perez is going to win this race, isn't he? Can you imagine if Perez ever won the Mexican Grand Prix? I mean, you couldn't not be delighted for them, could you? Now, unfortunately, we've still got a little bit of a lap to go here before we get to a DRS zone, because the triggers for the first 2 is the same spot, apparently, which I was unaware of, and it looks as though we have lost out now on DRS. So what we don't need to do is cook these tyres trying to get it back. Yeah, Mick is still right there. Mick's absolutely fine. But Giovinazzi has lost out. So we'll see how this develops, obviously. 71 laps, loads and loads of laps. And yeah, we know that we're going to be racing at the end as well. Alright, now we are just battling away with the 2 Red Bulls here. Perez is absolutely flying. I did get caught a little bit with Giovinazzi. I was trying to sort of recharge the batteries. Verstappen got past us using DRS. I was trying to recharge the batteries a little bit and then got caught out a smidge by Perez getting past us. Verstappen, perhaps wisely, and this is where I got caught out, is coming into the DRS detection zone for the first 2 zones. He was just behind us, which I didn't realise. So then we didn't have DRS and we're harvesting, and obviously Perez then harvesting with no DRS just zoomed straight past us. So we've got them back now. I don't necessarily expect us to keep Perez behind. In fact, it might even be beneficial for him to be able to take us up to the back of Stroll and Russell, who have pulled away a little bit. Mick's having a good race. Excuse me, just got past Piastri, so back up into 8th, and this is more or less just the Hamilton gap, and then it's the train that is behind Giovinazzi. So Mick's racing himself back into things, and Giovinazzi is doing a decent job, I'd say, right now. But yeah, this race is going to depend on what everybody's on at the end, I would think. If everybody else is on some nice hard tyres for us, and we've got some juicy softs, then we'll come flying back past them. If everybody's on a similar strategy, then the Red Bulls are going to be too quick, particularly Perez. I mean, Perez has got a second engine in that car. He's absolutely rapid. Alright, we are in Giovinazzi's pit window, and he's doing this thing again where he just loses pace. He couldn't get free of Norris and Verstappen. He's now got Mick right behind him, essentially. And yeah, I don't, excuse me, I don't quite understand why he goes through these spells in races where, you know, confidence is relatively speaking fine. He is coming in probably not this lap coming, but the lap after that. We'll push the tyres as far as we can. But yeah, I don't quite understand why he goes through these spells in races. So Stroll is coming to the pits. He is the first stopper. Yeah, but to be behind Verstappen on a hard tyre at this stage is obviously quite disappointing. And Mick is just chugging along, doing his thing, doing a pretty good job of it, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't understand what happens with Giovinazzi sometimes. But anyway, we're catching Perez, so it's not the end of the world, I suppose. If we can stay within DRS for this lap, that would be helpful. And then we will come in this coming lap on our optimal lap. So, yeah, we'll see. So we're going to go into a medium. And then we'll see where this all shakes out. But the Red Bulls are battling in front. Norris is coming to the pits. No doubt looking for an undercut. But that puts Mick now directly behind Giovinazzi. So, yeah. He's a frustrating driver, is Gio. He should be better than he is. But, I mean, Verstappen has turned the wick up, hasn't he? Doing a 119. But a yellow flag. Is that... Doesn't look like it's either of our boys. Sainz just locked up. I was going to have a rant, wasn't I? Okay, so here comes my rant as we wait for this pit stop about AlphaTauri being renamed the Visa Cash App, whatever. obviously it's a stupid name. I haven't seen anybody yet that thinks it's a stupid name. But what makes me so angry about it, oh, and there's the shitty stop just when we didn't need it, is that, so yeah, the Sauber name is also long-winded and stupid and all that kind of stuff, but it has Sauber in the name, so they can still just be called Sauber. From a marketing point of view, I suppose it's genius what Red Bull's done, in that it just has RB at the end, so that you can't really call them any, like, what are you going to call them? Cash cows is what I'm going to call them, because that's exactly what it is. They're just cash cows. So I invite you to join me in that, but it is a stupid name. It's genuinely pissed me off to the point where, like, I'm angry when I think about it, and I actually don't think it should be allowed. I don't think it should, because it's not a team, it's a sponsor. You know, and every team has, you know, it's Petronas, Mercedes, it's you know, whatever it is, Ferrari. They've always been like that. So that's not my problem. And the fact that there's a title sponsor, it's the fact that it's just there's no actual team name at the end of it, just RB, which is, I'm assuming they're going to be called Racing Bulls, and we all know it means Red Bull. But yeah, just cash cows. It pisses me off. Alright, so we have quite a few pit stops happening now. Norris has unfortunately not just jumped us, but driven off into this. He's got ahead of George Russell as well. Only just, but ahead of George Russell and right behind Perez. So, yeah, that pit stop, 2 seconds or so we lost there. Didn't we? Or maybe not quite that much. But we've had a good run without mistakes, but we got one there. I guess, there's always a chance of a mistake, even though I've been trying to manage the fatigue level. So, yeah. That's, I mean, it's 3 seconds is the gap, so he may have well been behind them anyway. But Mick up there in second right now. Let's have a look at what sort of lap times he's doing. He was a second faster than Verstappen on that last lap. Now, we can push him a lot harder because we know he's coming in. But, yeah, that's interesting. Hamilton, though, was quite a bit quicker than him on a hard tyre. So, this is the part of the race that's going to hurt, the guys that are still out there on a hard. This is the part of the race now that's going to hurt them because they are going to be slower than everybody else. But, yeah, with Mick about to come in and put on a soft tyre till the end of the race, then, let's ignore it for a second here. Looks like the time's not perfect. He's probably not going to get another lap out of it. So, yeah, we'll come in this lap. You can see he's got 3 sets of new softs, so even if we were to get a safety car at some point or a red flag, one of those is going to fall our way at some point, you'd like to think, so we have an option there to do that as well. As Stroll and Hamilton are battling, are they? Let's hope they slow each other up. But yeah, Giovinazzi just lacking pace again, isn't he? He's, just lacking pace. He's a very, as I said before, very frustrating driver, but yeah, I don't know what we can do about it. But Mick should be coming in shortly here. Let's hope that we've got the bad stop out of the way and we get a good one here. He should come out somewhere around Giovinazzi. He should be behind Giovinazzi. There we go, 2.8. That's more like it. And is that going to jump him? Oh no, that's Giovinazzi just going through there. So we're 7th and 8th after the first round of stops. Mick's going to end up beating Giovinazzi here, I would imagine, because he's on a soft tyre now to the end. Giovinazzi's got to get through this medium stint. But we'll see how that all shakes out, obviously. But, yeah. We've got a bit of work to do, I think, to catch Norris, Russell. I mean, what's Norris? Why is he suddenly so quick is the other question, I suppose. Safety car, and again, it's not really worked out for us, that one, has it?
Fairly heavy accident.
But
could be a lot of debris here.
What it could do, a hard tyre might get you to the end. Now, given that, I mean, it was 2 seconds a lap faster was Schumacher.
What's your then?
I think Schumacher's strategy is pretty sound, if I'm honest. I think he's fairly good now to the end, but I'm wondering, Giovinazzi onto a hard, what's he got to lose? And if it's not working out, then we can put him back onto a soft. So I think we might do that. Because it's going to get him to the end. If it's working, and if it's not working, then we can come in and put a soft tyre on and see how we go. But let's see, it was a Carlos Sainz accident. So Verstappen, I mean, again, it's worked out beautifully for Verstappen, hasn't it? Everybody's coming in except for Mick. Now, he's only just stopped. There's no need for Mick to come in here. It's only really the guys that haven't stopped yet that it works out beautifully for. Is Mick going to go to the front? Norris didn't stop, did he? So Russell's had a pit stop issue. So Mick is 6th behind Hamilton, which is annoying. Giovinazzi got a 2.9 stop and comes out in 8th on a hard tyre that can get into the end. So Stroll and Perez are on that same strategy. Verstappen, you wonder if in Hamilton if they are going to try and get to the end. But yeah, this race just took a turn, didn't it? It's going to be very interesting. Now Mick will be much quicker than everybody else. Safety car is in this lap, so we're on board with Mick. He's on a soft tyre and he's going to be going as fast as he can. Giovinazzi on a hard is going to be going as fast as he can. Now that's not the tyre life expectation because he was on conservative when we brought him in under the safety car, of course. So we'll see what exactly his tyre life looks like. But yeah, Mick needs to now get some overtakes done and try and get himself clear in front and open up as big a gap as possible, because he is going to be much like seconds a lap quicker than cars at the end. So yeah, he needs to get himself as far forward as quickly as possible and then hopefully, in theory, drive away. Giovinazzi needs to try and get himself forward, obviously, but he's on a completely different strategy as well. But the plan here is I might push him and then see where that falls. What we couldn't have done with Giovinazzi, we didn't have another medium tyre to put on, and it was too early to put on another soft. So if we push him like this, it might even work out to go for a soft tyre again at the end. But we'll just see what sort of tyre life we're getting out of him. But this part of the race is all about Mick and what he can do to give himself the best chance of winning this one. And it's going to be very interesting to see the guys that got onto a medium, so both Mercedes and also Verstappen, are they going to try and get to the end on that medium tyre? Or are they, are they going to planning on coming in and making another stop as well? But yeah, that safety car definitely spiced up this one. Alright, so we have Mick right behind the battling Perez and Norris. It is so important. We just had to back him off a second because of his tyres. It is so important that he gets these overtakes done. He's now gone through his battery. But he needs to... Perez is gone. Norris is a problem here. He's a cork in the bottle. And he needs to be overtaken, basically. But we didn't have any battery to get out of that corner. Now, is that going to cost us to Hamilton? Hopefully not. But this is his race here. He needs to get past these two and set off after Stroll and Verstappen, who have taken off out in front. They're 4 seconds ahead of Perez already. So that would suggest, especially Verstappen, that he's looking to make another stop. Stroll is not. But like I say, anybody's on a hard tyre now, it's going to be quite slow at the end anyway. Yeah. I realise that does, I guess, include Giovinazzi, but like I say, we had to do that with the way that his strategy was run. We had to put him on a hard because we didn't have a medium, and he wouldn't have. No, I missed if Norris had DRS. He didn't, so we'll deploy here. And that should be fairly simple, I would have thought, on better tyres. Please get this done, please, Mick. Up the inside of this one, that should be done now. Come on, that's yours. And he can now set off after Perez. And hopefully not get DRS back down this straight by Norris. That would certainly be the plan, although we don't have any battery and Norris is right behind us. This is huge. We cannot afford to fall back behind Lando. He's there. Let's deploy just to make sure it doesn't happen. Oh, he's going to get it, is he? Come on. Come on. Alright. Let's harvest through this part of the lap where it doesn't really matter, just to make sure that we have the battery to get out of that last corner and not have to worry about it. Or alternatively, could we just get to within DRS of Perez? We're just outside it. That would have been very useful. Oh, no, we did get it. We did get it. So that's going to be that job done. And we might even get Perez here, you know, as well. Giovinazzi is just stuck.
So focus on just bringing your tyre temperatures back
He's
under
just
control
stuck right now. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what we can do with him. He's just in a train, a DRS train, and there's not a great deal he seems to be able to do about it. And Mick, has he gone and got Sergio Perez? He should have DRS, a little bit of deploy, and that should be that. So he's got 5 seconds to make up now to try and get after Verstappen and Stroll. Doesn't need to overtake them necessarily, just needs to be close. And it's how far away. The bigger thing is we need, was it 20-odd seconds for a pit stop? So he needs to make sure that he's coming out as far up this field as possible. And Giovinazzi, yeah, still just needs to get some overtaking done. I think we're going to come in with him as well, but it's... Yeah. It's a bit... Oh, that could be another safety car. Perez has overtaken Schumacher, but that is the least of the worries because we saw it right in front of us, didn't we? It was Russell into Norris. Not a good day to be English on that one. And that is a huge result for Giovinazzi. Yeah, Russell just ran straight in the back of him. Now, are they both out? You'd imagine they might be okay to continue. Alright, now unfortunately Mick is going backwards a little bit here. Hamilton and Perez have both got past him. Giovinazzi is now right behind him as well. So, I mean, he's coming in this lap. What I'm doing is I'm harvesting up his battery because I'm trying... This part of the race is kind of compromised now anyway. So we'll come out and then we'll try and have a full battery to get the overtakes done. But yeah, Giovinazzi's pace has randomly picked up as it seems to do for whatever reason. But here we go with Mick. We need a nice, quick stop onto the soft tyre. We're going to have a lot of overtaking to do. Oh, it's a bad one again. It's 5 seconds. The old Ferrari's back. And we come out in 12th. No, we don't. We come out in 13th. Gasly blasts past us. A virtual safety car. A virtual safety car. Not sure what for. But what this will mean is it is a very good opportunity. It's the cash cow of Leclerc. It's a very good opportunity to bring in Giovinazzi for a cheap stop. And for once, are we going to get one of these things go our way? Now, it needs to be a good stop, obviously. Hamilton is coming in as well. And Ricciardo. What this is going to do is screw over Mick a little bit, I think. A 2.8 second stop for Giovinazzi. But yeah, Mick is going to lose out a little bit. Although, so assumingly these cars are going to come out on soft tyres. And yes, they are. But he's 7th. The front 3, though, are... essentially they're done, aren't they? Like they're sitting ducks at this point, although it's a virtual safety car, so it's not going to be everybody stuck up behind them. But it's only 18 seconds and there's still a fair way to go. Alright, virtual safety car is ending. Now Giovinazzi has Hamilton right behind him, so he needs to go. You can see with a full push he can just about get there. So what we might actually do is go full attack. We need to keep Hamilton behind us because with 15 laps to go, it is likely going to be between those two for this race win, I would have thought, because the cars in front are just going to be sitting ducks in terms of lap time. Now, because it was a virtual safety car, unfortunately, there will be DRS. As Mick is battling now with Denny Rick, which is not ideal. Yeah, it's not quite going to work out for Mick this one, is it? But it is very much there for Giovinazzi. And if he can keep Hamilton behind him or break the DRS to him, Mick's fastest lap is going to go. Hopefully it goes to Giovinazzi here. But look at the gap coming down to the leaders. It is definitely going to be just a case of Hamilton just nicked it too. And there he goes. Alright, so we have Mick right behind Alonso, getting past Alonso. And now the question is he going to be able to pull away from him? Alonso's tyres are in a similar state. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Giovinazzi's tyres are quite good compared to everybody else. Now, the gap is Giovinazzi, Hamilton, now Mick as well. They're 2-3 seconds a lap faster than the leaders. So, they're going to catch them. It's just a matter now of, who's going to finish where on the podium. Giovinazzi has sort of held the gap to Hamilton, which is nice. He might even get past him here, you know. And we're conserving our tyres as much as we can. Now we should have DRS again, and that is us back ahead of Hamilton, and we can see Stroll in front, and the Red Bulls aren't that far in front of him. As Alonso gets back past Mick, which is a disappointment, obviously. Alright, so Giovinazzi is now at the back of Verstappen. We've got DRS, Verstappen does not. We don't need to do it into turn 1. We can wait, and we can probably deploy a little bit, try and get it done here, and then again use Verstappen as a bit of a pick to try and hold up Hamilton, who is still right behind us. We should have enough tyre life now to push to the very end, flat out. We have got that done, and Verstappen is now going to hopefully hold up Hamilton for us. We will chase down PEREZ, and yeah, I hope no one's planning on leaving the track, because if we overtake PEREZ to win the Mexican Grand Prix, yeah, I don't think we're going to be the most popular team in Mexico, that's for sure. Come on, Gio. Come on, Gio. Again, you don't need to get it done into turn 1. He's on old, hard tyres. You've got all the time in the world here to get it done down this straight. And we don't even need to use deploy. We will use deploy now. We will just back off the tyres a scooch, because I'm slightly concerned about tyre life. And Giovinazzi leads the Mexican Grand Prix. Now he's got to go. Try and break DRS. PEREZ will hopefully hold up Hamilton for a little bit of time for us. PEREZ is hanging on. Now he's going to be throwing everything he can at this, isn't he? And we are actually out of battery, so I haven't timed that perfectly, if I'm honest. And if we go off board, we are in a little bit of trouble here of being re-overtaken. Let's maybe just go and push those tyres a little bit more. We can deploy down this straight, can we? Can we keep him behind us? It's very, very close. It's very, very close. Come on, Gio, you can do it, mate. You can do it. We've got the inside line here. That should be enough. And now we will we'll be able to go again as Mick and Ricciardo are going back and forth. And Stroll is not completely out of the picture there either. So we'll go and we'll go and keep an eye on Mick here. He's got Ricciardo right behind him, and they are both catching Stroll. And we can see Hamilton is back in on this one as well now. So it is very, very tense. But we should have enough to hold off PEREZ. The one that worries me very much right now is Hamilton behind him. Well, we could do a little bit of a Carlos Sainz trick here and sort of keep him there in the DRS. But it doesn't look like he's able to hang on to us. And we've got to go. You know, it's not like we can just sit here and try and hold up everybody. We've got to go, and with 2 laps to go. No, we're on the final lap. We're on the final lap. Okay, and look at this. We've got who's this? Stroll right in front of us. So Mick could be about to pick up 5th on the final lap. So you can go on your tyres now as well, because I'm a lap behind myself. We had we had a lap less to do than I thought. So Giovinazzi has a 1.7 second gap. Mick Schumacher has a smaller gap, but still a gap over Stroll. And I think there's not much that can stop us now other than a very, very devastating mistake. Antonio Giovinazzi is going to win the Mexican Grand Prix. And can Mick Schumacher now go and come in 5th for us as well? He's got a nice gap over Stroll. It is 1st and 5th for Ferrari. It's a wonderful day. And that is going to put a big dent in the points gap over Aston Martin as well. Maybe this is still on. So there we go, first and fifth, Gio up 3, Mick up 5. That is more like it, isn't it? So the drivers, Mick is now, if I just move myself out of the way here so you can see, Mick is now 7th and only just behind Hamilton. Giovinazzi takes a big step forward there as well. And the constructors, we took a chunk of points out of Aston Martin. Realistically, the gap's still too big with only a few races to go, but still very, very nice indeed. And yeah, I mean, if we win another race and Mercedes don't, we've finished joint the number of wins. We just had such a terrible start, didn't we? Alright, so the board like that. They are now happy with race performances. Delighted with that particular result. Its confidence is still low, but I'm wondering if now we've done enough to keep the job. I don't know. The board confidence being low doesn't fill me with confidence, but we're doing a good job now. As I said, it was the start of the season where we were so pathetically slow. We've been sort of the second or third best team since then, I would say. But, you know, that may not be good enough. Damage may have been done. But anyway, we'll be back next time. It's Brazil. Brazil, I believe, is a sprint race. Is it not? Yes, it is. So it'll be the last sprint race of the season. And I am looking forward to that one. Can we do another fantastic result? Take more points out of Aston Martin and really hook that up for the end of the season. Take care.